Hey YouTube, this is Scarecrow Kaiser. This is going to be a tutorial on how to play the 12 grade 3 Spike Brothers deck. So, let's get started. Alright. This deck runs very differently from a typical Spike Brothers deck. The old style and the more modern Deadly Emperor. And what more I need to say, it runs 12 grade 3, so I'll get started by first going through the first part of how you'd start the game, your hand. When you draw your opening hand, all you really need to do is make sure you have at least a grade 1. Like, let's say you draw like a hand like you have something like this. As long as you can at least have your grade 1, you're going to be okay. You can almost definitely, as long as you have your grade 1, you can shuffle back 4. Like right here, even though I have a grade 3 here, I'm willing to shuffle it back because I'm actually more likely, because my ratio of 12 to 9, I'm more likely to draw a grade 3 again before I draw that grade 2. So I would mulligan 4 in that situation. And most of the time, thanks to this card playing the role of 3 grades, you're probably going to draw, you're more likely to draw a grade 2 now, because this card can convert itself to a grade 2. So it's like you have 13 grade 2 and 12 grade 3, so almost the same odds of drawing them. Alright, next I'm going to move on to explaining the grade 1s of the deck. She's in here because the deck's so grade 3 heavy. You're going to have to use her to discard your grade 3s to guard. So, pretty simple, not much to explain there. Alright, so this card, his job is to put cards in the soul. And if you are playing correctly, you can try and use his effect at the correct times to make it more likely that you'll hit your grade 3s and your triggers. That's all I really need to say about him. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, the first 2 turns of the game, I mean, you ride your grade 1, you ride your grade 2, you don't need to commit to the field at all. You might think this deck's aggro and you need to keep playing guys and keep attacking, but that's not really necessary. Just ride your Vanguard turn 1 and 2 and swing. Once you get to turn 3 is when you get started. Ideally, turn 3, you're going to ride the General. Once you ride the General, start swinging big with every chance you have. Like, call the General, call a Juggernaut, use your Jelly Beans or your Mecha Trainer, which you used earlier, play out your Dan, call like a Bracky, just full up your field so you're ready to start attacking with everybody. You don't want to attack with your Vanguard first. You want to start attacking with your guys like Juggernaut, Rush Recklessly, and Bracky first, using their Soul Blast. It'll make it harder for your opponent to block, and they're going to get off the field. You want to attack with both rear guards who can attack and Soul Blast first, so you have 2 empty zones. Next thing you do is attack with your Vanguard, using the Dudley Dan Counterblast, and you want to, with the summon you're going to do off the Dan, you're going to want to actually summon your Bracky. You want to summon Bracky instead of the Juggernaut because leaving the Juggernaut in the deck makes it more likely that the Emperor or the General is going to hit it and summon it. Which, the fact that the General goes back to the deck, or the Juggernaut goes back to the deck, just makes it more likely he's going to go off. So you always want to use the Dan to summon the Bracky most of the time. Sometimes you need to call a booster or something, or if you don't have enough soul, you might want to call the Mecha Trainer or Medical Trainer. But summon Bracky with them, because it's more likely that with your drive check you're going to hit the grade 3 off this and be able to call it. Someone is calling me. I'll have to answer that later. Alright. Sorry about that. So, and then you're going to want to start swinging and using their Soul Blasts again. You want to swing big every turn. And you just continue this method. As it gets later in the game, the deck's going to slow down quite a bit. You're going to be running out of damage, Counterblast, or Dan. and not have as many people to play, but you just want to keep pushing. So you might get to the point where this rush recklessly that you had in the back row, you'll move him forward now to use his skill to attack, bounce, get off the field. And you just keep swinging with everyone. Now, for most of the time, when you're going to use your trainer to search, you're going to want to search out either Rush Recklessly or Rush Express. Reckless Express. I keep calling it Rush Recklessly, don't I? Or you want to search out the medical trainer. Most of the time, I search out him to have him as a backup for later on, as I just explained, for an attacker. But sometimes, if you've already got some in hand, you won't need it, so you might as well search him out for getting the soul ready. The deck's not too complicated. It has a different style that you'll have to get used to, but hopefully this gives you an idea of where to start with the deck.